Hi, my name is Thais Gibson, and I'm the creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, I want to talk to you about 5 hard truths about friendships. So this was a topic that was requested by people quite a bit, just in terms of like how attachment theory, attachment styles apply to friendships, and some really important questions about friendships in general. And I want to share with you some major points that I recognized in working with so many people in my private practice for quite some time, in terms of like some of the patterns I saw, some of the expectations people had, some of the sort of hard truths we need to know when initiating or beginning new friendships, and just about friendships as a whole. So, hard truth number 1 is friendships do not happen immediately. One of the biggest things I noticed that people run into in terms of problems when making new friends is they often had different subconscious expectations for how quickly the needle should move. Really no differently than in dating situations when we're first starting to date somebody and get to know them. And so what I would often find is that people would expect that because they really clicked with somebody at a yoga class or at a coffee shop or whatever it might be, that suddenly they were supposed to sort of build this friendship immediately and start texting and hang out and just sort of instantaneously become best friends. And those expectations would often in people's behavioral patterns and life experience look like this. It would be like, oh, I can't wait to meet this new person and hang out with them. I texted them, I reached out to them. They didn't get back to me. And it would be this like hope expectation and immediate letdown. And I had to have so many conversations with people over the years and be like, hey, people just have different subconscious expectations in terms of how quickly something should move. So sometimes we'll see one person who's like, yay, let's do it. Let's become friends and spend all this time together immediately. But the vast majority of the time, somebody else is like, I like the person I met at yoga class today. Let me see them at 5 more yoga classes, maybe text them back and forth with them for the next 5 or 6 weeks, and then maybe decide to spend time with them. And it shouldn't be a rushed process. And what I would also find is not just that, but often people take some time to vet each other in the friendship process, no differently than the dating stage of romantic relationships. And really, there is a vetting stage for both types of relationships in this area, friends and romantic partners. And so they just don't happen immediately. And hard truth number 2 that goes hand in hand with this is that not everybody wants to move the needle at the same pace. And this is because people have different needs according to subconscious mind's programs, expectations, different fears, different, busyness in their lives and amount of commitments and different room for different things. So not everybody moves at the same pace. Hard truth number 3, attachment styles do play a role. Attachment styles will create like compatibility or not in friendships. And I don't mean like compatibility, like one type of attachment style is more compatible with another. It's really not the case. Different attachment styles can run into more pain points or problems, but different attachment styles that may have those challenges also have some really strong upsides to them as well. But attachment styles will play a role in terms of like, does the relationship move, get off the ground? As an example, I often won't find, unless there's like exposure to a community. So unless you're like in the same sports team for fun, or unless you are in the same workplace, or unless you are in, some kind of dynamic where you're exposed to people over and over again, I often don't find, for example, 2 dismissive avoidants who are like passing through life around each other, even if they kind of get along or have a nice conversation. I often don't find one initiating a friendship and saying, hey, let's hang out, let's spend time together. Or if they do, it's kind of in passing, but then one of them always wants to cancel before they actually get to hang out. So oftentimes I'll see like the relationship has a harder time taking off the ground that way, similar to in the romantic stage of a relationship for 2 dismissive avoidants as well. The dating stage of a relationship, I mean, not the dating stage of a romantic relationship for 2 dismissive avoidants. So just interesting to definitely be aware of. It's different if there's like, you're in the workplace with somebody, you're repeatedly exposed to them, and you get to really know them over time. And then there's that sort of subconscious comfort zone with a person that then they can sort of build a friendship around. Number 4 is that these things take effort. I find a lot of people really kind of expect like, or sometimes will be frustrated. Like, why don't I have more friends around me? Why don't I have people in my life that I can talk to or count on? The vast majority of the time, it has nothing to do with like somebody not being good enough or not having wonderful qualities to offer a friendship, even though the person may make it mean that when they're going through that experience. The vast majority of the time, it's just that things take nurturing, right? It's that it takes effort. It takes putting yourself outside your comfort zone many times over until you can make a new friend, especially if people like move to a new space or move to a new area, or it takes time, and bonding takes time. We get to know somebody with time, and in that block of time, we become more vulnerable. We share more about ourselves. We communicate our needs. We receive our needs being met. And these are all really important components of building a friendship in general. By the way, if you are feeling lonely and looking to build more friendships, we have two really great courses you can check out for free for 7 days. Overcoming the Fear of Rejection and Social Anxiety course, which will help you reprogram fears, limiting beliefs, get clearer about some of the things that are really wiring you in that area. And the other course is called Overcoming Loneliness and Create Fulfilling Connections. And it's all about like how to really understand your needs, your desires, where you're going to find sort of your people based on what your needs are, and reverse engineering the steps to basically create new moments in your life to connect with other people. And also a lot about like how to overcome loneliness has to do with creating quality connections instead of quantity of connections, and really the steps that are needed in order to progress, in order to create more quality relationships in your life. And some of the things we wouldn't necessarily realize at a conscious level because we don't get a lot of this information, taught to us in school when we're kids about how the mind works and friendships work and relationship works and relationships work, and what we can really do to see our needs through and create more harmony and more depth in our connections over time. So lots of really good tools and workbook exercises that you can print off and check out through those two courses as well. And then number 5 is that friendships often go through a power struggle phase. So this is more for close friendships, but conflict is normal in all relationships. And of course, it's going to be on a continuum based on our attachment style, based on how close we are to somebody, how much time we're spending with them, how much parts of our lives overlap. Like, do we work with the person? Do we live with the person? The more time is going to sort of create the more potential challenges that we'll have to work through. But it is normal to have conflicts. And sometimes people think, oh, if there's a conflict in friendship, the friendship is over, or things like that. But no, these are just opportunities to communicate more clearly, communicate more effectively, share yourself more vulnerably, share boundaries when needed. And those are often exactly the ingredients that can create more depth in friendships and relationships over time if executed correctly. Another course for free you can check out, conflict communication course with major steps to really process conflict communication in relationships and what really needs to take place in a lot more detail. So you can check those all out for free for 7 days by clicking the link below. I hope this makes a whole lot of sense. Thank you so much for being here and for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already to this channel and you hang out here. I would really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video.